and at such an early age you have started to do something which has nothing to do with any career orientation. Like people generally are, if you ask a person of your age, they'll say what their parents have told them. Okay, they will say doctor or engineer or lawyer or something or something else. But you are, I think, I guess you are under 15.
I am actually 13 years old. 12, 12,
See,
12 years
so you
old,
are
and
basically
this
a
year
child
I will. Yeah. Yes, sir.
so this is
Please
what I would
continue.
call you, a child prodigy. I would call you a child prodigy. You are doing such amazing things. You are taking interviews of people. I have seen your channel. There are so many prominent people who have come on your channel, and that is why when I came on your channel before that also, I I did some preparation. Of course, my preparation might have gone haywire, but I really felt like I need to prepare myself to come on your channel. So you are doing amazing. Aditya Talks is just doing amazing, and I wish all good luck for this channel. I would love to see this channel grow in due course of time. I want to see this channel having 1 million viewers someday, very soon.
Hello, my friends. I welcome you to another interview of Aditya Talks. And today we are going to interview a very interesting person. And well, he's a runner and he runs and he wakes up at like early morning and he's also a blogger. So he's a very interesting person. And we're going to interview him and we are going to decide, like, we are going to understand how we should make our habits and how should we manage our time throughout the day. So stay tuned till the end, my friends. This is going to be an interesting talk. I welcome you to the show, Mr. Sanjeev.
Hi Adi,
Okay. So, are you ready
thank
to
you for
begin the
taking up
interview?
my story. Oh yes, I'm all ready.
Okay. So, the first question I have for you is, please tell me about your story, like from the early days and to like what you do now.
Okay, so do you want my story from the early days? You mean to say from childhood?
Yeah, from childhood to like what you are now.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Adi. So first of all, that can I call you Adi?
Yeah, totally fine.
Great, great. So Adi, um, if you talk about my childhood, I have a very diverse childhood. I'm fortunate that my dad was in the army, in the Indian Army. He worked for the Indian Army, and so I had the opportunity to sorry, travel to the length and breadth of the country.
Yeah.
I have been brought up in an atmosphere which is very secular. Indian Army, if you see Indian Army, you don't talk about religion, you don't talk about caste, you don't talk about languages. You have all sorts of people coming together, and so I had this very diverse childhood. From very early age, I learned so many values without even
Yeah.
realize that I'm learning those values. Like the first and foremost thing that we learn as an army kid is that we adapt to the situations, we adapt to the scenarios, and we adapt to the challenges. So whatever comes your way, you take it on, and you move ahead in life. So
Yeah.
that's one very good quality which I learned at a very early age in my life, to adapt yourself to the changing scenarios, changing times, and to the challenges that come your way. So I got schooled. I got my education done in the central schools in Kendriya Vidyalayas. So I have studied
Yeah.
in three schools, three different schools. One is in Bhopal, second one is in Ambala, which is in Haryana, and third one is in Hyderabad. So three different places I got educated, in all different states and in different directions. If you see, one is in north, one
Yeah.
is in center, and the other one is in south. So I had that amalgamation of values, cultural values, and I have amalgamation of different uh, societies, different social modes, and whatever you can say. So this is how my childhood was. I got my 12th standard done from Hyderabad. After that, I went to college. I went to do my hotel management from Bangalore. So again, I went south and did my
Interesting.
hotel yeah. After that, I took upon a job. I worked for a call center. I worked for call center for 8 years. So that was
Okay.
again an amazing experience for me because call center at that time was just coming up. It was something which was coming up, and I unfortunately did not get a job anywhere else after doing my hotel management. I was not able to secure a job in the hotel industry. So, and I had some issues, like I wanted to join the army, but due to some reasons I could not, and I landed in the call center. So it was again a challenge for me, but I adapted to this challenge of working in a call center, and I think my story, if you ask me my story as such, then my story begins from college. My story begins in Bangalore. When I was there, I studied in a hotel management institute, and there is where this is where I feel that my story takes starts taking shape from the college days. Because as a school kid, I was very average person. I was always an introvert, mostly an introvert. I was absorbing a lot of things, but I was not able to do much in my childhood. I was very academic person, not at all a sports person. But thanks to my genes, my genetics, probably I got a good height, good weight, good physique. But I did not realize these things unless I came to college. So that's how I have been. This is my story, like from childhood to my college, and then taking up the job. And after working for 8 years in a call center, I got into banking. So my call center was about banking, and so thought of building up my career into full fledged as a banker. So I came to work, and now I'm right now heading up a mid-sized branch of a public sector bank, one of the most well acknowledged bank. So it's called State Bank of India,
Yes. So that's interesting.
the
Now
common
your
man
journey.
bank of for the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting story. So basically, from childhood, you are an introvert, and you like. I'm just summarizing things over here. So you were an
Sure.
introvert, but you grow up like you grew up to become a strong and a like physical man, and then you went to college and you learned like about hotel management, and after that, I mean, you had a very big disappointment, but nevertheless, everything leads to something. So you went to the call
Yeah.
center, you worked like for 8 years, but now you're a banker, and that's very interesting. So you have a very tough and a challenging journey, but well, it is inspiring for those who are just going to through this period. So they should also learn that whenever they are going to through this period, then they should like always see that after this things there is always some success of any kind, right? So you're a blog
Yes.
now. I have also seen your blog now. You're like a blogger. You are a runner, and now you also like do a job. So how do you manage your time throughout the day? Like because these are many things to do at like once.
Yeah, this yes, Adi, it's a lot of things I do. Mostly I work, because as a banker you have to work for at least 8 to 10 hours these days. So that the core of my day goes into the work. But I developed this as a passion. If you ask me, running has nothing to do with my work. I'm a banker, and these are poles apart: a banker and a runner. A banker is mostly sitting on his chair, and he's delivering things sitting at his desk, working on his
Yeah.
laptop, on the computer, right? But this is exactly what pulled me towards looking after myself. I had I when I was maybe like I think 3 years ago, 3 years ago, I realized that I am losing my health. 3 years ago, I realized that because of the work, the overburdened banker, I had a lot of work stress. I had a lot of issues with myself. And prior to this 3 years, in 2015, right now it's like 5 years now. In 2015, I had a major loss. I lost my father, and I lost my
Oh,
father to a serious brain stroke. So when this incident happened to me in 2015, I started to suffer a series of setbacks in my life. I started to suffer mentally. I was stressed out. I was feeling depressed. I had some issues with my relationships, and I was I was feeling that I am in a kind of turmoil. So
yes.
that that chain of things started to take me into a direction where I started to look for the meaning in my life deeper. So far, whatever was happening was uh, happening because, like, we get educated, then we go to find a job for ourselves, then we settle down into a marriage, then we have our children. So I had completed all these processes: marriage, children, education, work, everything. And at this age, I'm right now 42,
Yes.
and I was that time 38. So at the age of 38, I started searching for, I started to search for the meaning of my life. After I lost my dad, I started searching for the meaning of my existence, and I started to seek spiritual answers to my existence on this earth. And that led me to a lot of introspection, lot of reflection, lot of deeper understanding as what
Mm.
I should do with my life. Was it the only purpose to come, to get married, to have a job, to raise children, or that's it? And that is when I realized that my life should be something more than these things. It should have an element of me. Who is Sanjeev? Who is Sanju? I started to seek my own identity, and I realized that I need to start looking for things where I can uh, probably be proud of myself. I mean, whatever I had done so far, it was all very good. I was an academic person, I got a good job, but somehow my life was not happy enough. I was not happy. I was under stress. I was feeling
Yeah.
empty inside. So that is when I started to seek myself. And this seeking, the process of seeking myself somehow landed me into the process of running. Uh, as you said, Adi, that cultivating good habits. So this is very basic to our existence. We people don't realize that habits are so very important. So when I was under this deep turmoil, I told myself that I'll start with a clean sheet of paper. I'll empty my mind and start with my life completely fresh. So that is when I started to look at my life as a beginner. I started to look at my life as a beginner and started to mend things which were very fundamental to me. So, for example, about what about my health, health of my body and my
Yeah.
mind. These were the fundamental questions that started shooting at me when I started to seek myself. And from there, I started to, with a simple habit of getting up in the morning and going for a walk. I started to get up in the morning and go for a walk. This simple thing of getting up in the morning, and I was getting up at like 7 o'clock, but I was going for a walk. That process, going for a walk, going into introspection, kind of meditation, that slowly started to move me in the direction where I started to feel better about myself. See, when your body is
Interesting.
crying with pain, yeah, when it starts, when it is crying with pain, it is suffering. Your mind is suffering. You are depressed. Your body is not getting rest. Your body is not getting the proper diet, not proper nutrition. You know, these result into a lot of complex issues, and those were happening with me. I could see those things happening with me. So then I realized that this is a fundamental thing about life, that you need to have a good body and a good mind. a healthy mind and a healthy body. So I started searching for the answers on these two topics: healthy body, healthy mind. And I came up with this term called fitness. So I started to look at the definition of fitness. What is fitness? And from there, this thing started: getting up in the morning, going for a walk, and then going for a walk slowly got into the process of running. It was like not a one day thing or sudden enlightenment. I have been doing this for a long time, but on 1st of Jan 2018, somehow I took a resolution that I'll invest this whole year into my mind and body fitness. So I started going for walks in the morning to the nearby park, and this park was like 2 kilometers away from where I was staying. So and this going for a walk every day somehow resulted into a lot of things. See, when you are see, it's actually not just one thing that okay, you start going for a walk and suddenly you realize this and then you start doing it. I mean, at age 38, you are so much mature. You have seen so many failures in life. You have seen so many setbacks in life. So my life was something like that. So I had learned a lot of things about life. And when I started to go for a walk, that simple thing started to give me instant kick, instant joy. It captured my imagination. It suddenly captured my imagination. I was hooked on to that feeling of that that pleasant feeling. That feeling I felt very good. Those days when I used to go for walks, I felt very good about myself. I was doing much better at my work. I was talking to my customers more politely. So that somehow uh, made me realize the potential in physical workouts. I have never been a sports person. I have never been a sports guy. I have never participated into any kind of physical activity in my school. If you ask me, throughout my school, I was more of a bookworm. I still read a lot, but now the equation is better. I read and I run.
So you like that was like total transformation for you. Like you transformed from a reader to a runner and a reader. So that's kind of the thing that balances everything. Now,
Yeah.
now like you are running and you are a runner, but every habit like formation has some challenges to make. So what were the challenges you faced to get running as like running like to do running on a regular basis, like which like, and what did you do to like just stay away from that, like those obstacles?
Okay. Very good question you asked, Adi. This is the most. I think if you ask me throughout this interview, somebody has to listen to this part of which part of the interview. I would say this is the most important part of the interview that they should listen to.
Yeah.
See, the in any kind of venture, in any kind of accomplishment, the most common challenge that we face is to continue doing something.
Yeah.
You do something for some days, you do something for some weeks, you do something for some months, and then you just stop doing it.
Yeah.
So when I started to run, the most important element that has been so instrumental to my amazing running success and accomplishment has been that I was able to engage myself with the process of running. So
Yeah.
here the most important element is engagement. And how this engagement comes is through the pure love for what you do. I mean, my parents did not tell me to go for running. I did not, the doctor does not prescribe me to go for a walk in the morning. It was an internal awakening and the instant kick that I got through my running through my morning walks that inspired me. I mean, I was not inspired. Of course, we do read a lot, watch a lot, and absorb a lot of things from the media and from our surroundings. But unless something happens within you can never connect with something. So my connection with running was very organic. I started to build this process of running, engagement, deep engagement. So that is
Yeah.
very important to face any challenge. If you want to face any challenge, the most important thing that will see you through the dark tunnels of darkness, the tunnels which are dark, where you don't know exactly where you are going, which where you're moving, is your pure connection and the engagement with the process of what you do every day. So, for
Yeah.
example, you are right now taking this interview with me, and you might not get the viewership, but if you love this process of talking to some people, getting their stories out, getting to see them how they respond to your questions, if that is your process. So the second thing is, first is engagement, and second is finding a system, finding a process, and fine tuning that process.
Yes.
So I started to fine tune that process. When I fell in love with the process of going for morning walks, those morning walks slowly graduated to the level of jogging and running. And I was able to run for like 2 kilometers. Initially in 2018, I was running 2 kilometers. But I started to realize this is an amazing thing to do. This has such a great potential for me. I would like to grow in this area. I would like to go for morning walks. I would like to move myself
Yes.
from from just morning walks to jogging to running. And that slowly, that process, I started to look into. I started searching the net. I started reading about it, and slowly and slowly. I mean, I did not set any targets. See, I have not set any targets when I started when I began. The only thing which was there in my mind was to love, to enjoy what you are doing. So imagine just 2 kilometers. I mean, it's nothing. Anybody can run 2 kilometers. But those 2 kilometers, the kind of feeling I got, the kick I got, actually accelerated my process. So I would say first thing is your engagement, your deep level of engagement with what you do. And that comes with doing things out of a voluntary choice, not by somebody telling you to do it.
Like your
You choose your
passion.
own. Exactly, that's the word, passion. So today I'm a passionate runner. People call me a passionate runner. I run through all sorts of weathers. I run through all sorts of distances in different running formats. And it has nothing to do with my career. It's my passion. So, that important thing is passion, to have passion for something. That is the most key element, I would say, for any challenge. So, I had a deep level of engagement with running process. I started with very primary scratch from walking, and then slowly I moved to the process of running, and
Yeah, please
and that
continue.
and that process just continued. I never looked back as how much I'm running, how much I should run. So first thing is engagement, second thing is finding a system, creating a system. So what I did was, when I started to fall in love with the process of running, the 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 feeling I got was that I should not lose in this area now. And then I started to
Yeah.
work on the system. So I created a system, and I'll tell you exactly what system I created. The first thing, if you want to do something every day, you should know what you are doing and how much you are doing. So, with respect to running, I started to track my runs every day. So, like these
Yeah.
days, I have a I have a fitness tracker. I wear a smartwatch, and that's very easy. But when I started to run initially, I had no fitness tracker. So it was all very innovative, and I'll tell you exactly how it worked for me. But there were milestones like 1 kilometer milestone, 2 kilometer milestone, 3 kilometer milestone on the road. So I figured them out, and I measured the distance, like from where I'm staying, how much is the distance to this place, to this place, to this place. And then I started to write down those distances every day in my notebook. Like today, I went for 2 kilometers. Then tomorrow again, I'm going for 2 kilometers. Then again, 2 kilometers. So I started adding up the numbers, and I started to create a game, a system, a game for my mind. So I was enjoying that process. Oh, I ran 2 kilometers today. So likewise, in 2018 Jan, mid of Jan, I set up the target of running 1,800 kilometers.
Yeah.
And with the process, tracking my runs every day. Then second thing was that to keep your goal in front of you all the time. So I started to share my running kilometers with the groups, with the WhatsApp groups. I mean, I had
Interesting.
no social media presence. Yeah, I had no
Interesting.
social media presence. I have a
Okay,
page.
so like you are
Yeah,
talking
thank you
like
so much. I
you
have
told us like you told us about the one like 1080 kilometers like challenge you made up for yourself. That is interesting. Now I would like to ask like something, so like also like please tell me about your like accomplishments you have made which you are like proud of and you which kept you going.
my accomplishments. See, the biggest accomplishment was to cover the distance of 1,800 kilometers in those 365 days. I was able to hit that target in 1 year, 1,800 kilometers in 2018.
800. Oh, sorry, I
Yeah,
mistakenly told that 1080 kilometers. It is 1800.
that's all
So
right.
that
That's
is a very big thing, big thing.
Yeah.
Now,
Thank you so much. Yeah, and then when I arrived at that target, imagine running 2 kilometers and accomplishing 1,800 kilometers in 2018. I had a leap of faith.
yeah,
It
interesting.
completely swept my mind. It completely swept my mind. And
Okay,
I felt so powerful inside.
yeah,
I started to find the self fulfillment. I started to find the joy inside me. This was sheer joy. I mean,
yeah,
I can't describe these in words, but it's a sheer joy. It's a sheer joy when you accomplish something which you never thought. I mean, not from a sports background, not a sports person, never thought about doing anything into sports activity, but from a simple idea that the fitness is required for your mind and for your body. And then going on to accomplish 1,800 kilometers was something which completely swept my mind. And after that, I started to run 21 kilometers, that is half marathon. And in the middle of 2019, almost like 1.5 years after running, continuously running every day, I found a dream. So after one and a half
yeah,
years only, after running for so much of distance, I realized that there's something called a marathon running. I when I started running, I had no idea about running as a hobby, running as something a pursuit. People are running marathon running. I mean, no, but when I started to run, I started getting people from my friend circle, from the media, from Facebook. I started researching on the aspects of running, and from there,
yeah,
I found that there's a format called marathon running, which is like 42 kilometers. A
yeah,
distance of 42 kilometers is humanly not easy to accomplish. But after
yeah.
1.5 years of running, I found this dream that I must become a marathon.
So now the question I have for you now is, what is your advice on the benefits of running for our viewers, and what like how should anyone like who wants to start running go about and make it a habit for long term benefits?
Okay, great question, Adit. I must say, first of all, and as you said, these are two questions. So let me break down my answer also into two parts. So let me first talk about the benefits of running. Again, in the benefits of running, I'm going to divide this into two parts. One is the benefits for your body, and the second one is
Yes,
the benefits to your mind. Okay. And
yes,
before I answer this question to you, let me first tell you something very interesting about our mind and body. See, our mind and body, they might seem to be two different parts, but they have actually got a deep correlationship. If your mind is healthy, your body is going to be healthy. And if your body is, let us say, suffering, it's going to cause disaster to your mind as well. So these two things are like having deep correlationship with each other. Okay. Now, with respect to the process of running, running takes care of your body as well as the mind. So first, let me talk about the benefits of running for your body. Running
Yes.
is a physical exercise. So you move your body, you move your muscles, you move the whole body, as a package. If you see, your body has got so many different components. It's like a machine. You have got a heart, you have got a digestive system, you have got legs, muscles, you have got arteries, you have the brain. There's so many different
Yes.
components that create a human body. When you run, you carry the whole body, and you uh, push this body at all times. So you move from being stationary to be in action. When you move into action, every part of your body is getting impacted positively. So let us start with your heart. When you run, you improve your heart rate, you improve
Yes.
the health of your heart. Okay. Then let us say your digestive system. If you run, you are able to digest much better than if you stay at one place. Being a
Yes.
banker, I know exactly how people are suffering. Most of the bankers are suffering, and in fact, most of the people who are having a sedentary lifestyle are suffering with lifestyle diseases. When we say lifestyle diseases, here
Yes.
the biggest culprit is our chair. Okay, in fact, I have read somewhere that sitting is a new way of smoking. Okay, this phrase might be very interesting to you also. That people who are sitting all the time, they might not be smoking. So they might think that they are going to have good health. But if they are sitting all day long, they are actually causing as much damage to their body as you can cause by smoking a cigarette or a pack of cigarettes.
Yes.
That's very important. So it helps your digestive system. Third thing is your breathing. See, when you run and you accelerate yourself, you speed up or you slow down, you give lot of variations to your breathing.
Yes.
Breathing in Indian system of health is called prana, and you can understand because we Indians have this rooted in our culture. Prana is everything. So when you run, you engage your breathing in such a way, it feels like you are actually singing a symphony. You get transferred from this material world into a spiritual world. This is what my experience has been. Like when I'm running after 10 kilometers or 15 kilometers, it's not your body which is moving you, it's your mind which is taking you further. You don't feel the pain. The
Yes.
pain just, it numbs. You don't feel the pain. The body is paining, but you don't feel the pain because the mind has taken you to the next level. So this
Yes.
is about breathing, the prana. Then you have muscles. Every part of your body is moving. The muscles are moving, the joints are moving. These
Interesting.
joints, yeah, these joints, there's so many joints in our body. Maybe it may be running into hundreds of joints. When you are running, every part of your body, all those joints get lot of boost. Okay, it's like grease to your machine. So you grease your body by running, and this way the whole body is going to get exercise. The process of running burns much more fat compared to any other exercise. So running is considered to be a rigorous exercise. And it because I'm a long distance runner. You have different ways of running, different formats of running. Like sprinting is a form of running, jogging is a form of running. In fact, walking
Yes.
is also considered a form of running, but at a very slow pace.
Yeah.
So these are all formats of running. So when you
Interesting.
run, Yeah, when you run for a long distance, when you're called an endurance runner. Basically, marathon running is called endurance running. How much you can endure, how much your body can cope up with the pain, the struggle of the mind. So basically, when you run, you are enduring yourself. You are trying to push yourself as much possible as you can.
Yeah.
So imagine the kind of benefits you can have. So there are multiple benefits of running for your body. Now let
Okay.
me
So
come to the, yeah,
so
sure, go ahead.
the like the you said the apart from the direct benefits of running, what other soft qualities, values, and traits, in your view, do you think that we should learn from running regularly, and like which prepares us to handle life situations better? Please advise the values separately so that you can connect with your stories.
Sure. But Adi, I would like to finish my question, my previous answer, if you allow me to.
Yes.
Previous answer,
Yes,
I
of
I
course.
actually was I halfway through, so let me just finish it off, and then I'll come back to this question.
Yes, of
Okay.
course.
Thank you so much. So this is the benefit of your body. As far as your mind is concerned, when you get into the process of running and you're running slowly, you don't have to run very fast. When you run slowly, slowly and slowly, your brain actually starts creating a lot of transformative changes in your whole brain. I'll give you some chemical understanding of this brain. See, our brain has got neurons and neurotransmitters. I mean, if you call it in a plain layman's language, these are called brain cells. So you have these brain cells. As you grow, as you age, your brain cells starts dying. Okay, and
Yes.
when you get into like an adult life, where you are set with so many challenges, so many issues in your life, like family challenges, your work challenges, your own personal health challenges. There's a lot of stress which keeps building up in your whole life, and this stress is in chemical
Yes.
form, is combated by a chemical called cortisol. There's a chemical
Yes.
called cortisol. It's a hormone. This cortisol keeps running through your body to combat the body from any damage, but and keeps you in alert mode. But if you keep your body releasing this chemical all through the day, then it starts damaging your brain cells. Okay, when you run,
Yes.
running being an aerobic exercise, it creates a chemical called BDNF, brain derived neurotropic factors. Okay,
Yes.
in layman's language, this chemical is called a fertilizer for your brain cells. As you run more and more and more, your brain's cells, nerves, which are like signal points, they get fertilized, and you are able to increase the number of neurons, the number of brain cells in your brain. So when you see your mind, your brain gets a lot of boost by running. In fact, there's
Yes.
something called runner's high. People when start running, they forget about the pain, they forget about themselves, they keep running. There are runners who run 100 kilometers. There are runners who run 200 kilometers. There's a running format which is for 251 kilometers. It's called MDS, Marathon the Sables. It's conducted in
Yes.
Morocco. There are people who are running ultra running, who are doing the ultra running, who are running trails. The different formats of running, and these are all formats to achieve one thing that's called runner's high. You get on a high, okay?
Yes.
That is all happening in your brain. It's all happening in your brain. So when your brain health improves, when your brain health improves, your stress comes down, the BDNF goes up, you start
Yes.
to look at life from a very, very fresh perspective. Your mental health goes up multiple times, multiple folds, many folds up, and you're able to look at things like a child with
Yes.
curiosity, because your brain cells are so many brain cells. You're able to, you become so powerful, your brain becomes so powerful, you become so healthy by running, the process of running. And then when you have this healthy brain, your stress comes down, your relationship become better because you are more calm and composed. You have that meditative mood, you're able to think better. Overall, I would say you're able to think better. So this is the kind of
Yes.
amazing changes you can find. And this is how totally I got transformed by the process of running for the last 3 years. In fact, in the last 3 years, I have almost run 4,000
Yes.
kilometers. And this year, my goal is to finish 5,000 kilometers overall in these 4 years, in the last 3 years plus this year. So this year, I'm going to touch the milestone of running 5,000 kilometers overall.
Yes.
So, you see this whole process of running. This was a question, last question, which you asked me. I'm sorry I am giving you a long answer, but this was required. This was a very important
Yes,
thing
of
which I wanted to
course.
tell
No
the
problem.
audience. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity and the platform to talk about these things. Now,
Uh,
coming back to the question which you asked me, if you don't mind, I beg your pardon. Could you please repeat that question to me?
okay. Now um, the question was, apart from direct benefits of running, what other soft qualities, values, and traits, in your view, do you think that we can learn from running regularly, which prepares us to handle life situations better? Like, what are the soft qualities we learn, like, from running?
Great question once again, Adi. And to continue with the last answer which I gave, this can be continued with that
Yes.
running actually equips you so much for a challenging life ahead. Our life is full of challenges, and a long distance runner or a marathon runner is called an endurance runner. You need to endure yourself. You need to continue pushing yourself harder and harder. As you say, when the what the phrase is there, I'm sorry, I don't recall right now. Yeah, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. So this phrase fits very well in the context of a runner. A runner has to, as you run several kilometers, you realize that your body is giving up, but you don't give up. Mentally, you are becoming stronger and stronger. So when you take up running as a hobby or as a pursuit or as a passion, it is going to affect you, or it's going to have a spillover into your other aspects of life. So for example, in my case, I find that running has helped me to find myself, to seek my power. I'm able to unleash my power by the process of running. And I have learned myself that I can push
Yes.
myself forward despite all the circumstances. I'll give you an example. Like few days back, I had in my office there was kind of inspection going on, and this was like 12 hours of work every day. But after 12 hours of work, I made sure that I come back home and I do my workout. So my workout would be like doing some push-ups. And
Yes.
this kind of mental health, mental power only comes when your mind has started to believe that it's not just about your body and it's about tiredness. It's about the mental strength that you need. When you have that mental strength where you are fully prepared at any point of time, that is
Yes.
the biggest quality as a runner you can have, that you can push through anything, no matter how well equipped you are. But you believe in one thing that is called pushing yourself forward. So pushing yourself, like in running, in the context of running, if I can explain this to you, we have something called finishing line. You run 42 kilometers of long distance, and only goal for you is to touch the finishing line. Okay, we don't run to win the medals. Maybe one or two people will be there, first, second, and third, who will win the medals. But people don't run marathons, 42 kilometers, to win medals. They basically want to uh, reinforce their belief that they can touch the finishing line. And touching the finishing line is an amazing feeling. So when you have that mentality of touching the finishing line, you learn to complete the task. This is a
Yes.
very big thing when you realize, like when we are doing this interview and we are facing so many setbacks, so many disconnections, but what we are looking at is touching the finishing line and doing it with dignity. You push yourself forward all the time. So this is the kind of value I learned through my process of running. Now I don't give reasons or I don't cut corners with anything, be it anything. I take it uh, point blank. I face it, and I keep trying to touch the finishing line. So this has created a kind of endurance quality for me. Then you also get to
Yes.
learn planning, execution, monitoring, you how you track your running every day, how you remain committed to your work ethics. So you can inculcate discipline. I mean, all the good qualities, all the positive qualities that you can talk of, you need to be a good endurance runner. So I think there's a lot to learn from the process of running.
Yes. Interesting.
Thank you.
Now, now, so now, like, since you have chosen to like wake up early in the morning to run, please also advise what are the benefits of sleeping early and waking up early as compared to those people who love to wake up late. How does like the 5 a.m. club impact our lives?
Thank you so much for asking this question, Adi, once again. Uh, 5 a.m. Club. I read this book by Robin Sharma called 5 a.m. Club. And
Oh,
5 a.m. Club is an amazing concept, first of all, let me tell you. You
yes.
get up early in the morning. I mean, of course, we have this phrase called early to bed and early to rise. Makes a
Yes.
man healthy, wealthy, and wise. But people don't really do this because in this era, we are mostly driven by technology. We have got so many gadgets around us that we spend so much time. We sit late nights to party. We go for parties. We are on our phones. We are chatting with people. We are watching movies on Netflix and etc. But what ultimately happens is that we are reaching nowhere.
Yeah.
Our body has got something called circadian rhythm. It has a body clock. In the layman's language, it's called body clock, biological clock. This circadian rhythm requires you to do certain things at certain time. So sleeping, if you ask me, sleeping, the ideal time to sleep is between 9:30 p.m. and morning 5:30 or 6 a.m. Any time between this is a ideal time for your body. Your body requires to rest, and an average of 7 hours of sleep every day is required by your body. We people, unfortunately, are undermining the power of sleep. So there's a very famous author, a famous journalist, a famous billionaire. Her name is Ariana Huffington. She has also written a book on this, on sleep. Like her book is, I'm not able to recall her book. Her book, I'll tell you that book name, or maybe I'll send it to you. She is talking about how her life actually, she discovered about her life what she was doing by missing on her sleep. She is very particular about her sleep, so she dedicates her time for sleeping than doing anything else. And sleep is very important. If you sleep early, you can rise early. When you rise early, you can spend every day, you have like 2 to 3 hours in the morning. And for example, I have started to get up early in the morning for one single reason, as you know, is about running. That's my biggest
Yes.
motivational factor. So when you have that motivation, when you have that purpose clear in your mind as why you want to wake up in the morning, you will get up in the morning early. And for that to do, you will get to the bed and you'll sleep on time. Okay. So people who are early risers, most of them, in fact, people who do not suffer with insomnia, people who rise early in the morning, they are having clear goal in their mind as what they want to accomplish for their day. So, like for me, it's my running. I ensure that I get at least 30 to 40 minutes of running every day. It's my morning diet. I prepare myself for the morning run. I get up in the morning at 5, 5:30 or 6 o'clock,
Yes.
depending on what time I'm going to bed, and that depends on what time I'm coming from work. I prepare myself mentally first. So I'll write something, I'll write on my blog, and that's how I write on my blog. As you asked me about the time management for my blogging, running, and working. So I write in the morning. It motivates me, it inspires me. I go to YouTube channels, I watch documentaries, I listen to motivational music or some kind of pep talk. And then when I get into the frame of running, I go for running. So that's how I prepare myself for the running. And this has, when you run in the morning, you have accomplished your task and you have won yourself a medal. It's like winning a medal. Every day you are running 30 to 40 minutes, giving your body and the mind a big boost that I spoke to you about the benefits of running. You are fully prepared to face the day. If your day turns out to be a battle, you are not going to back out. You're going to fight. So that spirit of winning an adventure, the spirit of you know being iron-willed, having the will of a steel, that kind of attitude that you develop by running, it makes you so powerful. And that is why you should get up, go to the bed, you should get up, you should have a purpose in your mind what you want to do the next day. You should plan your day and live your life fully with the full objective, exactly what is this life all about, and do it. This is how my morning 5 a.m. club
Yes.
has changed me. It has made me very meaningful, purposeful, and happy. So the only thing which
Yes.
I aim at in my life is my happiness. And today I know exactly what happiness is all about. People are so confused about happiness. They confuse pleasure, luxury with happiness, which is not happiness. Happiness and joy comes when you have lifted yourself above the pain. So with running, you learn to take the pains for a meaningful pursuit. You take the pains. See, we all are taking pains. People who are who want to have the pleasure today, they will have the pain tomorrow. But that pain is regretful because they think, oh, if I had taken care of my body, I would have been better off. In fact, not taking care of your body and mind figures out to be one of the top regrets of the people before their deathbed. Again,
Yes.
this is something which I have read in a book. Okay, it's called Top Five Regrets of Life. Not taking care of yourself is not loving yourself. Not taking care of yourself is not respecting yourself. People who don't take care of their health and their mind. So, so that is how the running has transformed my philosophy of life. I today, whatever I do with that deep level of engagement which I have found through running. So this is how 5 a.m. club has transformed my life, and 5 a.m. club and running together, they go hand in hand.
So you are a creative person, and like you are making an
Yeah.
impact through your positive words. And like please tell me about your interest in blogging, and how do you enjoy this, and how did you start this?
Okay, great. So as I shared with you that I have this deep interest in reading. I read a lot. I have been reading a lot, and I have been reading a lot since my childhood. So anybody who is a reader, who is a bookworm kind of person, tends to have this hidden uh, hidden desire to be a writer someday.
Yes.
And it's only a matter of time before you find your content, what you want to write on. what you want to write on. So
Yes.
in my case, my writing is influenced by my awakening and my deep realization about this self love, self care, and about fitness. So when I
Yes.
found this topic, and I find that this topic needs so much more attention today in today's world, where people are not bothered about their fitness, about their
Yes.
health. I find it very relevant topic, and so I thought that let me uh, pull up my pen and start writing on this. So I started my project of blogging in August 2019. So far, I have not done something which I can call as credible work, but I intend to continue with this process, and I intend to make an impact. My goal is to reach out to 1 million readers in next 10 years. This is a resolution which I have taken in August 2019. So I have this vision clear, uh, and I would push myself forward to make the world a fitter place, a more better place where people can get close to the nature, close to themselves, start taking care of themselves, and start loving themselves more so they can be happier human beings.
What are your like future plans, and like what is your way to like impact the world? Like what are your future plans?
Yeah, so very interestingly, which you said. See, before I give this answer to you, I would like to tell you one simple phrase. It is simple to be happy, but it is difficult to be simple.
Yeah.
Our happiness lies in doing simple things, but we have complicated ourselves so much. So, my task is cut out. I want to uh, take this to the people and tell them that life is simple, don't make it complicated.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself, take care of your body, take care of your mind, love yourself, care for yourself, do what you love, break out from these stereotypes. Don't be a stereotype, do what you love. Okay, don't try to find the results, don't try to look at the results. Find a process that you can love, and then
Yes.
losing or winning will not be the part of the game, because you become the part of the top league, and top league does not bother about winning or losing. They bother about doing what they love. So that is very
Yes.
simple to understand about life. This is all you need to live a very happy life. So that is my agenda. I want to tell the people about fitness, about health, about
Yeah.
self care. So I am actually working on a project, on few projects. I am like writing, I have developed some themes to put them as books. For example, there's a theme on inner kingdom, how you can create your own kingdom. You have a
Yes.
whole world inside you, how you can manifest that world. So I have that project in me. I want to talk about very simple things like how to take care of ourselves in
Yeah.
this very stressful world, this very artificial world. So there are a few themes like getting close to nature, following simple lifestyle, having those simple values in your life, like our uh, grandfather used to have, having more social element in your life and not being
Yeah.
machine driven. These simple things which are there, I want to bring these out, and talk on these things, write on these things, blog on these things, and spread this message to the world.
Yeah. Interesting. Now, please tell us about some books that have made like deep impact on you, and like please tell like on running or maybe other topics also, like books, favorite books.
Sure. So thank you so much, Adi, for asking a question on books exclusively. Uh, I love reading books, and I call it as a $1 million habit.
Yeah,
So, reading
absolutely right.
books is a very good investment. It's a very good investment. You can have whatever you keep reading. See, from the textbooks that you read in the school and college, you are only going to get a limited amount of knowledge, and you will
Yeah,
have to read some syllabus books which you might not like.
yeah,
Read for the pleasure of reading, to extract knowledge, to extract information, to engage into experiences of others, to understand how people have lived before you, how they have found their passion, how they have become so successful, or how they have become happier. You can get so much out of reading. There is no other habit which I know apart from reading that has given me so much of benefit. So my best book is a book which I read when I was 21 years of age, and this book name is called "The Seven Habits of Highly Effective Teens."
oh,
So
yeah,
this book is meant for the teens. It's called "Seven Habits of Highly Effective Teens. This book has
oh,
influenced me so much that uh, I keep finding this book more and more engaging. I have read
yes,
its more mature version, which is called Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. Uh, the second book, which I would recommend to anybody and everyone and everybody, is called How to Win Friends and Influence
and
People.
influence people.
So, if you
That is like,
exactly,
it's like the best book. It's like Bible for me too. Mm, yeah,
yes,
and any other books?
yes. So, apart from these two books which I have read, I I actually I've read a lot of books. I keep reading a lot of books. Um, then, which I can talk about right now, which it's not about running. Actually, I have not read many books on running. There's
Yeah,
one book
you
called
can.
Finding Gobi.
What? Please, can you? I could
There's a
not
book.
hear.
Yeah, sure. I'll tell you the book name. The book name is called Finding Gobi. This book is about a runner. This book is about a runner. He is running in the Gobi Desert. So Gobi is the name of a
Oh,
desert, and it is in
yeah,
China. So he's running this. He's running through this desert. He's an ultra man. Ultra. He's running a race called ultra running. So in this
yeah,
ultra running, he finds a small, cute little dog uh, who starts chasing him, and this person is actually suffering from some confusions in his life, and he's running to overcome those obstacles and those challenges. And then he finds that this small cute little dog is running with this guy, and it's not one day running. It's like which is spanning through probably
desert or like
7
a
days or
very
10
big
days
desert.
running, and he finds that this dog, yeah. So this dog is not leaving him. This dog, small little dog, is not leaving him. So he and the dog, they develop a kind of companionship. This small little dog he gets inspired by this dog, that this small little dog is not getting tired of running with me. I'm running several kilometers through the day, and this dog is not getting tired. So they develop that camaraderie, that companionship, and then they start getting inspired. So he starts getting inspired by this cute little dog, and then he runs the whole race. This race is running into several hundred kilometers, and he
Yeah,
finishes this race with a podium finish. And then he realizes the kind of contribution this small cute little dog has made to his running that day. The way this dog is lifting his spirits all the time to make him a winner. So this dog uh, gets lost somewhere. He plans to adopt this dog and bring him home, but this dog is getting lost somewhere. And then he goes in the search of this dog, and he names the dog as Gobi. This book is about how he goes in the search and how he finds the dog and gets him back. So if you I mean, I would definitely recommend this book to you, even if you don't love to run or don't prefer to run. But do read this book because this book is about a runner. It's not about running. So it's not about running. It's about the spirit of running. So Aditi,
Okay,
this is a book for you.
okay. So, of course, you're like, so now who are your role model, like from whom you have been inspired the most? And, like, of course, please, why?
Sure, I'll tell you that. I have three very clear individuals who have deeply influenced my life. First of all, is my dad. My dad has deeply influenced my philosophy of living this life with respect, dignity, and take everything head on. So, my dad is my most endearing person whom I look up to for his transparency, for his honesty, the way he lived his life, and the way he brought us up. So he's always on top of my mind. Whenever I'm doing something or deciding something, he is my hero.
Yeah.
And I have dedicated my Tata Mumbai Marathon, which I ran in Jan 2020, to my dad. So he's my first and foremost, the biggest hero. The second person whom I really adore in this world is Mahatma Gandhi.
Oh,
Uh, I like the phrase which he said. You know, he said that be the change you want to see in this world. I mean, we
yeah.
people expect the changes to happen in the world outside. We are always talking about and we are always complaining about things which are not right. But if you want some kind of change, that change begins with you. The change begins with you. To be the change that you want to see in the world. Mahatma Gandhi is my second hero. And third person who I have been lately following and have been keenly following is a supermodel. His name is Milind Soman. Milind Soman is a supermodel and he is a runner. He's an actor. Uh, he's a very creative person in my opinion. And
Mm.
Milind Soman, I have been following him maybe after when I was about to run my Tata Mumbai Marathon. People started calling me that you are like a Milind Soman. And till then, I had no idea what Milind Soman is doing. Like I always thought that he's an actor. But then I started to read more about him as what is so special about Milind Soman. And I started to follow his advice on running, on health, on fitness, on meditation, on happiness. And this guy is really a philosopher. I mean, he is one who lives his lives on his own terms. And he is a swimmer. He has done his Ironman. Ironman is a format where you run, you swim, and it's like a very big achievement for anybody. Milind Soman
Okay.
is 56 years of age, and he is also one of the ambassadors of Fit India movement. So if you see him on the internet or if you find him, you will find that he is not aging, and it is because the way he has uh, kept himself. He has written a book recently. The book name is called Made in India,
Yeah. So that's
where he talks
interesting.
about yeah, this book is very interesting, and where he talks about how he gave up on the habit of smoking. He was a chain smoker. So the way he has transformed himself and the way he has been reinventing himself over and over and over again is something which I really admire and adore. So he's my third hero, and I have these three heroes who I really admire from the depth of my heart.
Okay. Now, please advise about two people who you would like to see and learn from on this show, and of course, why.
Okay. Um, I would definitely recommend his name, Milind Soman, if you can get him on your channel. If he can come on channel, that would be great. I always love to listen to his advice and to his talks. So one is Milind Soman, and Uh, Second person is one of my friend, and I call him Guruji. I call him Guruji
Yes.
because this guy is my schoolmate, and we lost track for many years, and then he came back, and he came back in my life when I started to run, and he has inspired me beyond my expectations. So he is a army officer. I would definitely like to come. I would definitely like him to come on your show and talk about his journey, about his adventures, about his life, because he has been a constant motivator for me. He has created many platforms for me to, and he has given me so many metrics to work on. He has been, I can call it as, he has been my mentor. So I would love to see him on your show.
Um. Now, thank you for coming on this show, and well, my viewers, I hope you found this discussion. It was a lengthy one, but it was like interesting also. It was like as interesting as it was lengthy. So it was very interesting to talk to you, and I learned a lot today from you. So thank you for coming on the show. Well, I hope we meet once again, and thank you, and well, bye bye.
Thank you so much, Adi. Take care of yourself. Bye bye.